Johnson's got it. He's going to score. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Touchdown, Longview. Longview has taken the lead.
With us tonight, to all our listeners that missed it earlier in the pregame show, Eddie and Johnny are bringing you the game tonight. So Eddie, tell us about Lee and Lobos.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike, this is a crucial game. This is really it's win to stay alive for either team tonight, and it's really going to be I think a very hard-fought game. You can throw the records out. You look at Longview and their record coming in, and then the 1-7 Tyler Lee, and you're talking about a playoff game. Well, of course they don't count till district, and Lee's had some injuries, and they won a big ball game last week. We unfortunately lost a very big ball game up at North Mesquite, and against North Mesquite last week. So Johnny, I guess the thing is we're going to find out how Longview will rebound and play tonight in basically a must-win. Yeah, you can still get in, but you sure want to win tonight and not have to go to DeSoto next week knowing you have to win.
Yeah, it's going to be real tough if we lose here tonight. And Tyler Lee basically salvaged their season last week. They're now 1-7, but they got the win last week against Mesquite. They come in here tonight if they can win this game, and they'll have a legitimate shot to get in the playoffs. And so, as disappointing as the season has been for them, there has a little bit of an explanation in there. They played a very difficult schedule, just like Longview. Their quarterback, Preston Condor, didn't become eligible. He transferred in, so he had to miss up until I guess he's played the last 2 or 3 games. And then their starting running back, LaQuintus Wallace, who's actually the key to their offensive team, has been hurt some, and he's back. And I think they legitimately believe that they can win here tonight and get a playoff berth.
Well, I think you're exactly right. And then you have to think back to, as Coach King alluded to, he mentioned it in the paper, he mentioned it to Mike and I this morning, the psyche of this Longview team. He said, I just really can't get a read on them this week, but I'll tell you what, if you can get up for a game like this, there's something wrong, and I think you'll see Longview really come out with a lot of intensity. Senior night, some of the last game for a lot of these guys as seniors tonight, but it was a disappointing loss last week, but you've got to put that behind you and not think about that and just think ahead.
Well, I mean, give up 21 points, be outscored by 21 in the fourth quarter is just not indicative of many Longview teams that we've seen. It was on the road. They did have a good running back, a guy that's going to the University of Texas. But that didn't change the fact that we controlled that game for 3 quarters, and all of a sudden we let it slip away, and now our season's in peril, at least from the standpoint of going to the playoffs. And, yeah, I think Longview's going to play up, but Eddie, what has plagued Longview a lot this year has plagued them the whole year, and that's turnovers and mistakes, penalties. Year, and we still have had that problem. Close games when you make mistakes, and that's one thing Longview's got to cut out tonight.
Yeah, they really do. Listen, before we go any further, we want to say a hello to a long-time faithful Lobo fan, and he is still a Lobo fan. He's far away from us right now, but I know he's listening to us over in Singapore, where he now lives. Joe Black, it's been a long time since we've seen you, and we sure miss you here. And of course, Joe was here just year in and year out and followed the Lobos, and he's still an internet listener, and we appreciate all the people that do that. So Joe, we really appreciate you listening in every week, and we miss you not being here. And Brent called and told us, exactly where you were, because you've kind of wondered for the last, few years or whatever, where you were and why you weren't here. But we do understand now, and thank you for still supporting the Lobos. And of course, Brent, thanks for giving us that heads up. So Joe, hope you enjoy the game, and it's a big Lobo victory tonight for you and everybody. Okay, all right, Johnny. The keys to the game tonight. We talk about that, and so why don't you go ahead and give us your thoughts on that?
And I think there's a few keys to tonight. I already talked about the mistakes. Longview needs to cut those out. I think that we've got to put together. We've had a couple games this year where we've just had a quarter that's been awful, and the John Tyler game we gave up 28 points in a quarter. Last week we gave up 21. We got to string together 4 good quarters. This is an important game, and we got to play like it is, and we got to play from the first quarter through the game. I think that's one of the keys that how we react, especially after last week's loss. And I think the other thing that we got to really be careful of is LaQuintus Wallace, the sophomore, is a legitimate player. And in last week's game, we controlled Bergeron for probably a half and maybe at least part of the third quarter. And then in the end, the guy just breaks our back on plays that we'd been making earlier in the game. And you can't, with good backs that can run, you just can't take a play off. And if we don't control Wallace, I think we got a chance to lose this game. And so, we need to be consistent. We need to not make mistakes, and we need to not let LaQuintus Wallace end up with 150, 200 yards tonight.
We'll be back with Johnny's keys to victory right after this 2-minute timeout. Welcome back, everyone, to Lobo Stadium. Eddie Richardson, along with Johnny Vaughn, Mike Richardson, Gene Morris with us here tonight, and Brent Taylor a little under the weather tonight. And Brent, we sure miss you, and hate you're missing what we hope, and it's going to be we know it's a big game, and hopefully a Lobo victory tonight, but we're thinking about you. Okay, Johnny, you gave some key ingredients to the game tonight. Anything else as far as keys tonight? Mike and I and Gene were talking and I think you were in here and probably heard us. Special teams have really hurt us this year as far as field position, kickoff, and also on punt returns. And you sure hate to start a series, just about every time without having good field position.
Yeah, the returns have not been effective this year, which is unusual for Longview. Almost every year we have excellent return teams, and this year we haven't been able to really decide on who's going to do it, which tells you there's no obvious choice is what it does, and that's the kind of thing that does make a difference, and it makes a positive difference if you got a good one, a negative difference if you don't, and I don't think that's going to change though at this point in the year, Eddie. I think that's just something we're going to have to live with.
Well, I think so. You've been through 8 games, and if you don't see it now, like you said, it's just going to probably be the same.
In football season, like a few games.
I'm telling you,
not
next to last one we finally did one.
90, yeah.
All right, Jenkins waiting on the whistle. There it is. He advances, and we're underway here at Lobo Stadium. Ball's taken back 1 yard deep, coming up to the 16-yard line, and brought down on the 16-yard line. Tackle made for Longview by Kavitrick Field.
Kia Brown.
Excuse me, Brown. Kia Brown, excuse me. Okay, Lee will start off. Offensively, Preston Condor at quarterback, and of course LaQuintus Wallace, the outstanding running back.
LaQuintus Wallace is a sophomore back, and then they'll also start with Hayden Tomlinson in the backfield. They'll run mostly out of the shotgun or kind of a spread formation, although they're going to do it and start here with 2 tight ends. I guess a tight end and a
45-second clock is not in operation if we kept on the football field.
What did you say, the clock?
25-second clock's not working.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. It's off, non-function. Marquise Mosley is a young man you want to keep an eye on, too. About 6'4", 200 pounds, excellent wide receiver for Lee. Back from the gun. Condor fakes, and there he goes around the end, and he has gone down the field. He's got a lot of running room, and hopefully will be finally run out of bounds right there.
Well, that's they run the option to the weak side after faking to the strong side, and he turned up. And the only thing that kept that from being a touchdown is the fact that all the secondary for Longview is faster than Condor, and they just ran him down from behind. And I think he was finally pushed out of bounds by Joe Brown. But
Yep.
what a start!
63-yard run, and now he's just outside the 15-yard line. So a huge play for Lee to start the game on an outstanding run by Condor. Condor now steps up. Now he backs away. Two backs to his left, one in motion to the near side. Condor on the handoff back across the middle. We got a flag there. It's going to be a false start on Lee that time. Looked like the right side jump there. I think Brady tackle was just a little premature getting off the ball there.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, everyone. Tyler Lee, after the huge 63-yard gain on Longview's 21-yard line. Handoff for little or no gain that time. That's good defense out there that time. Tackle made by Joseph Wilson, the defensive lineman. It's a good play. The senior lineman made a good play for Longview.
Yeah, Joseph Wilson crashed down the line and ended up making the play, and that was a nice one.
Scarlett, give him two. 2nd down 8, ball just inside the 20-yard line. Condor under center, gives the handoff to the outside, turns the corner, picks up about 7 yards, looks like, and is run out of bounds on the far side over there by Joe Brown.
It's kind of an inside trap play that it ended up, Hayden Thompson ended up outside the end out there. I don't think the play was designed to go there, but he just cut it around the end and ends up with 5 yards.
3rd down and short, 3rd down and 3 for Lee. Ball just inside Longview's 10-yard line. A big play early for Longview here as they try to hold and force Lee to possibly go for a field goal or 4th and short yardage. Condor back in the gun. 2 backs on either side. Snap back, and there's premature, and then we've got another timeout. So evidently Lee is lining up or not in the right formation, but they burned 2 timeouts, and we'll take it with them. Be back here on the ranch, 104.1 in 1 minute.
95, 4.
Welcome back, everyone. A huge play for Longview that time as they tried the misdirection. The hand step to his right, handed off, and a big play again by by Thomas Jones and Joseph Wilson. So that's a loss of 5, or actually 4, make it 4th and 7, and Lee will line up and attempt to kick a field goal here. Ball will be marked on the 21. It'll be a 31-yard attempt, but a good defensive play for Longview.
Delayed draw, and Longview wasn't fooled at all.
Got it. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So Lee has broken the ice here, and they got the first points on the board with 10-12 left in the first quarter. Tyler Lee 3, Longview 0. Welcome back here on the ranch, 104.1. Longview and Tyler Lee. Tyler Lee, first points on the board. 21-yard field goal, Johnny.
I think it was actually 31 yards.
31, excuse me.
5-play drive and kind of stalled out.
Kickoff, a high, short kickoff, and it's fumble, and Tyler Lee has got the ball.
Well, the up man signaled for the fair catch, got into his pads, and what he did, it hit off his pads and then actually rolled towards the Lee lineman coming down, and they fell on it. So another break early as Longview has shot themselves in the foot here on the return, or at least the what would have been the return on the kickoff after the field goal.
I believe that was Shannon Polk, I believe, that came up to fill that, but Johnny said it did pop off of his shoulder pad. So Lee with excellent position again. This time they'll be starting on the 13-yard line off Longview. Condor under center. There goes the handoff to Wallace. He comes around the corner. Terrific play out there by Britton Eastburn. That had a lot of yardage on it. Come through from his defensive end position to bring him down after looks like a 2-yard gain. Let's call it 2nd down and 8. That was a big stop there.
It was a stretch play where they tried to sweep the end, and it looked like they were going to turn the end. Britton Eastburn was being blocked, but he came off the block, fought through, and made the play. I mean, he's a big, strong guy that can move, and that was an outstanding play.
Lee in a tight formation, one receiver to the far side. Condor takes the snap, fakes the handoff, runs it right up the middle, picks up looks like about 3 yards.
Well, that's another one that
Joe Brown making the.
he's had a couple plays here early, and that time he faked inside to Wallace and then took it right up the middle, and he actually just ran in to one of the Lobos that was on the ground.
Another big play early for Longview, 3rd down and 4. Ball on Longview's 7-yard line. Condor under center. Fakes the handoff. Almost falls down. Now he's flushed and he throws in the end zone, and it is intercepted. And wise play. A huge play for Longview. The interception made that time.
With the interception for the Lobos.
Much an ill-advised pass. I thought he really should have run for that one.
That is just crazy. You're going back over the middle of the field, and it just floated, and Darden just stepped in front of it. And I mean, basically Lee has squandered 2 great opportunities here. That they've gotten 3 points out of it, but that was a big play for Longview.
Huge play. Now we'll see Longview with their first chance offensively. Petey Robertson under center. Gets the handoff, hands it up the middle to Fagans, and little or nothing there.
Stacked up. Fagans just
about the line of scrimmage.
A yard or.
I think they may give him 1 yard on the play. Tackle made that time by Bryce Braley. Braley, the outstanding nose guard for Tyler Lee. So let's call it a gain of 1, 2nd down 9. Robertson back in the gun formation. Quick pass to the outside, caught by D.T. Jackson. Picks up about 6 yards. Actually, looks like about 7. So we'll make it 3rd and short, 3rd down and 2.
It's a quick curl route just in front of the defensive back out here for Lee, and that's Bryson Simon. And good throw, good catch. 3rd and 2 for Longview, maybe about 2.5.
Here's where you see, Robertson is under center. Usually you see him in a gun situation like this, but he is under center. Hand off that time to Fagans. Up the middle, he busts through there, and he does pick up the 1st down. Good blocking that time for Longview. Left guard Tommy Bell and left tackle Spencer Borens opening the way. First down for Longview. Now checking in for Longview is Joe Poole. He'll be at wide receiver. 2 wide receivers flanked to the far side. Blaine Thomason along with Poole. I formation. Robertson under center. Motion by Thomason. Petey Robertson fakes it. Now throws up the field, and it just off the hands. A good play that time by the defensive back for Tyler Lee.
Yeah, that was good defense out there on the far side by Marvin Gray, as he actually stepped in front of the intended receiver. Thomason had a chance to pick it off. As he tipped it in the air, and it goes incomplete. Play action pass. Lee was not fooled.
2nd down and 10. Three wide receivers to the far side. Robertson back in the gun again. Dakota Anthony to his left as the up back. Robertson fakes. Now he runs up the middle, picks up good yardage, picks up about 6 yards. We'll bring up 3rd and short again, but a good job that time by P.D. Robertson on the delayed draw.
Yeah, that was run all the way, and he actually came back to the weak side. Lee had kind of overloaded their defense to the right and picked up 7 yards.
Brandon Olson checks into the game as well as Joe Poole. Poole will be split out to the far side. Longview will run the 2 tight end, DeMarja Devine and Olson. 3rd and short. Robertson under center, fakes the handoff.
Wide open.
There's Olson wide open down the field, and he makes.
Pass is complete to Brandon Olson for a Lobo first down.
Mistake for Tyler Lee, though. 3 for the longest, and almost able to catch back up to us Bryson Simon, but Olson pulled it in for the catch.
That was a huge pass, a huge play, and a great pass by P.D. Robertson, and tremendous catch that time with good coverage by Olson. 1st and 10 in Longview. They're down in Lee's 23-yard line. Handoff up the middle, not much running room there for Fagans, but he does keep turning his legs and ends up picking up about 3 yards. Good job up front again by Longview's Hank Torres, the center, C.J. Green, right guard, Tommy Bell, left guard, Spencer Borns, Thomas Rocho, the right tackle, and, of course, Brandon Olson, tight end. So Longview's got a little momentum now, Johnny, and see if they can push this in.
Now, the pass play was a big play for them, and they've got it inside the 20, and they kind of dodged a bullet early on as Lee's had 2 scoring opportunities and only came away with 3 points.
2 receivers to the far side. Quarterback Drabo Robertson, he gets away from one, but a shoestring tackle that time only picks up maybe a yard, so it's going to be 3rd and long for Longview. They give him a pickup of 1. It'll be 3rd down. Longview will still need 6.
It should be a passing down for Longview. They're going to go twins to the far side, left side of the field.
3rd down, 6. 2 receivers to the far side. Devine in motion. Snap back to Robertson. He fakes it, and now we've got a penalty.
Longview moved.
Yeah, Longview's jump before the snap. This is just what's been killing Longview all year. I think that was Thomas Rocho, I believe, the jump that time.
He sat back in his stance. It was right before the snap, and first I didn't think the officials were going to call it, but then they threw the flag.
Push Longview back 5 yards. Ball will be moved back to the 23-yard line.
Now you almost have to pass, Eddie. Before, at least you, and especially with Longview, they could have taken probably 2 running plays. Now the league knows they're going to throw the ball. At least they think they know it, so it makes it. This is a tough pickup.
Exactly. 2 receivers wide to the far side, 1 to the near side. Eric Hawkins Devine in the slot. He comes in motion. Robertson back, flag down. This could be offside Lee. Robertson running. He eludes 1, he eludes 2, and he is going to be close. I think. But there is a flag on the far side. I believe that could be offside Tyler Lee, and if it is, that's going to be not enough men lined up on the field, on the line of scrimmage.
He didn't throw it right as the ball was snapped. Usually on the defensive offsides, they throw it immediately. He waited a second. With the illegal formation, you'd think they'd throw it immediately anyway, but they didn't. So, but that's another play, a penalty that's now changed this from a 3rd and 6 to a 3rd and 16.
Yep, 3rd down, 16. Well, even if you could get the first, it'll be great, but at least you can hopefully pick up some yardage, be in range, of course, for Chris Jenkins to attempt a field goal, but you'd sure like to get more than that. 3rd and 16. Robertson takes a snap back, looks down the field. Nothing there. He's going to run it again, and there's going to be nothing absolutely there as he picks up nothing. I don't think he even got back to the line of scrimmage. He lost a yard. So good coverage downfield that time for Tyler Lee.
Yeah, well, you know, when you absolutely unequivocally know you're going to throw, it makes it a little easier, and that's where we got into because of 2 penalties.
Well, Jenkins is out to attempt what will be a 45-yard field goal attempt. The ball will be spotted right just about on the 35-yard line. He's got the leg, that's for sure.
His leg
and
is
no
not
wind.
a problem, and no wind. It is a little cool. Let's see what happens.
Snap back. The kick is up. The kick looks a little wide, and it is. It's off to the left. So Lee hangs on to the 3-0 lead as Longview gets a good drive, but penalties again. Their nemesis, and they are unable to come away with points. 2:54 left in the first quarter. Tyler Lee 3, Longview 0.
That's disappointing. Longview really had it in a situation that looked like they were going to maybe take the lead, and then 2 penalties put them back in a position they just were too far to go, and then they attempted the 45-yard field goal, and he just pulled it a little bit to the left.
Condor, the only back in the backfield. In motion comes Wallace, and he gets the handoff, and he picks up about 5 or 6 yards on the sweep play.
Yeah, that's straight sweep, and we've seen Lee do that a lot in the past against Longview, and they really generally have not had a lot of success. But that play actually picked up about 6 yards.
Yep. Tackle made out there by Brian Tomlinson. Call it 2nd down 3. Longview, Lee with an up back, snap back, the handoff to Wallace again as he comes to the near side. Nothing there. He actually loses a yard. Good pursuit and a good play out there that time. Joe Brown, one of the key players making the tackle for Longview, along with the sophomore Jalen Porter.
Wallace actually did a pretty good job to get back and just lose one. As that really looked like Longview was going to trap him for a 3-yard loss. He made a little quick move and then too much pursuit. But
3rd down and 4 now for Lee.
They've thrown one pass and they threw an interception in the end zone. Let's see if they try to throw again.
3 receivers to the far side, including the running back Wallace, 1 to the near side. Now Wallace in motion, lines up back at the quarterback now. Fakes it, throws the pass upfield. Good catch, and where they mock it, fumble the ball. Longview's picked it up, and they made a huge play early for Longview.
Wow. Yeah, just run out there, and as they tried to struggle for it,
well, you see that happen sometimes when you're fighting for yardages, and his arm went up with the ball in the air, and someone knocked it out. I didn't see who it was. It could have been Thomas Jones, but Thomas Jones sure knew what to do when he picked it up. A huge play for Longview. 6-3 now with 1:20 left in the first quarter. Jenkins on to attempt the extra point. So the momentum now has switched to Longview. Thomas Jones, just a outstanding player, has been since his sophomore year, and even more importantly, a outstanding young man. Here's the snap back, Tomlinson down, Jenkins kick up, and it splits the middle.
And it's good. Kyle Jenkins.
Welcome back, everyone. 7-3 Longview after a huge defensive play, Johnny.
well, it's 3rd and 6, and Condor flips the ball out to McKenzie. It looked like it was a completion. It looked like they were going to have the first, but as he tried to fight for yardage, the ball pops loose. Thomas Jones returns it into the end zone for the score. Longview up 7-3, 1:20 to play in the first.
Here's Jenkins approaching the ball, kicks it deep in the end zone, and they were coming out with it, so we'll see. He breaks the first tackler and gets on up past the 20-yard line. Boy, Longview had a chance to really put Lee in a hole back there, and just a little juke, and Lee will be in decent field position now.
Hayden Thompson, he took that out of the end zone. He got down there about 30 yards. He was looking for somebody to hit and found somebody. That's usually return men are not really looking to hammer somebody into the 30-yard line.
He made a beeline for him.
That's
Well, he made something out of maybe an ill-advised play to bring it back. But anyway, field position, Lee will start on the 24-yard line. One back, Wallace in motion, gets the handoff. Longview strings it out, and a good play there, even though he picked up about 5 yards, but it could have been a lot more there. Good job by Porter, the defensive lineman, stringing it out and then forced out of bounds by Quail Darden. We'll see a lot of that stretch play tonight, John.
Yeah, they run that a lot. I think, it's amazing. Lee is like completely changed their offense from the way it used to be, and I just find it kind of amazing because at one time they really, what I thought, had a great offensive plan, and it's just different now.
Yeah, and right guard jumped that time. Farley, Carter Holbrook's premature jump right there, and that's going to cost them the yardage gain on first down. It'll move it back, and it'll bring up second down and 10. And see if Longview's defense can come up with some big plays here and hold them and force a punt here. That was a huge play. As Lee, as you said, Longview didn't squander their opportunity. Lee had 2 opportunities down deep inside Longview territory and only has a field goal to show for it. Second down and 10. Up back, the fake. Condor throws it deep down the field. Receiver's there and right through his hands. Had a good chance to make that catch. It was good coverage by Tomlinson that time, but looked like the ball hit the receiver right in the hands at about Longview's 40, but it falls incomplete.
Yeah, that's it was a pretty deep toss, and had Tyler Huffstickler was there, but I don't know, he just couldn't pull it in.
58 seconds left here in the first quarter. Third down, 10. Lee spreading the field here. Condor, the only man in the backfield. We'll see if they run motion as they have been. Not this time. Condor steps back, looks over the middle. He's flushed out of the pocket, and then he throws down the field, and it's nothing there. Threw behind the receiver, Huffstickler, again. So a good job defensively by Longview, 3 and out.
Yeah, it was a good job, but again, he picked the wrong guy out on the far sideline. He had a man wide open. And the other thing is, Eddie, you just cannot complete passes when you roll one way and try to throw back over the middle to the backside, and it was a poor pass that goes incomplete.
If you do complete them, a lot of times it's to the other team.
The other guys.
All right, Lee back in punt formation. Longview back to receive the punt on the 40-yard line, the rugby-style kick. Kicks it high in the air. Longview should, and they will get out of the way of this, and Lee downs the ball. Joe Brown was back to return that, but wisely he let that go. So Longview will have good field position. They'll start from their own 42-yard line after a 33-yard punt. .42 seconds left first quarter. Longview with a 7-3 lead. One receiver to the far side. Tight formation. Robertson gives a handoff to Jasmine Fagans, and he picks up a first down for Longview. Longview strung that out real well, running from the tight formation, and a good run by Fagans, and he ends up running.
Yeah, Fagans though showed good speed that time as he was able to stretch it out and eventually turn the corner and pick up 14 yards.
First down for Longview. Ball now inside Lee territory. They'll start 1st and 10 on the 46-yard lines. Poole and Tomlinson, 2 receivers to the far side, and off to Dakota Anthony up the middle. And short yardage that time as he only picks up 1 yard.
It's his first carry. Not a lot of running room. That may,
yeah, I think that's going to be the end of the first quarter. It will be. Longview leading at, we think, I think that's going to be the end of the quarter. It will be. That's the end of the first quarter with Longview leading Tyler Lee 7-3. Back with more here on the Ranch 104.1 in 60 seconds.